The Reserve Bank has given the economy a giant rev up with the biggest rate cut since the dark days of the GFC. It was a move obviously aimed at reviving non-mining sectors under pressure due to the high dollar and soft demand. The surprise size of the cut hinted at predictions the big banks won't pass on the full cut. But there was no clue from the central bank as to what its next move might be. Here's Philip Lasker.
Reserve Bank Governor Glenn Stevens prefers interest rate stability, so this surprise move means one thing.
Well, I think the Reserve Bank has finally acknowledged that it's got it wrong so far this year, and what it's trying to do is get it right.
A 50 basis point cut brings the cash rate to a near 2.5-year low. The RBA should have cut rates earlier, but they didn't. Since then, mortgage rates have effectively gone up. Consumers have been even more reluctant to spend. The jobs market is softer, and the strong Australian dollar is hurting parts of the economy even more.
The Reserve Bank is now trying to reverse that and provide on top of that a stimulus to the economy.
But the government was anxious to take the credit.
Today's interest rate cut and the two before it have been made possible by disciplined fiscal policy delivered by this government.
The bank board is playing catch-up, acknowledging the economy's running below trend and somewhat weaker than expected. It said inflation will probably be lower than expected over the next 1 or 2 years, and says growth has been affected by a persistently high exchange rate. So a 50 basis point reduction was necessary to deliver the appropriate level of borrowing rates.
And I think it's also acknowledging that they're pretty unclear as to how much the banks will cut by. If they were sure the banks were going to pass on a full 25, they might have done 25. I think they've done 50 on the assumption the banks may not pass the full amount on.
Certainly one major banker was not making any promises to borrowers.
We think of the interest of 1.8 million mortgage holders, but at the same time 14 million deposit holders, 800,000 shareholders, and it's always a balance.
The Bank of Queensland has already set the tone by passing on only 35 basis points.